Assalamu alaikum. This is one of the many episodes of the glorious Algerian history. We start our video today with a question. Who among you has heard of a man in Italian history by the name of Leonardo da Vinci? Most, if not all of us, have heard of this man. Now, who among you has heard of a man in Algerian history by the name of Ibn al-Fahham? Today, once you hear his story, you will see how much we are falling short and negligent with our history and how our country is failing to make our heritage, our civilization, and our scholars known to the world, so much so that Algerians don't know that the oldest advanced mechanical watch was designed and built in their own country and by the hands of their ancestors. So, let's get to the heart of the topic. This is an old book that deals with the history of watchmaking in Switzerland and France. The author of this book, Pierre Dubois, is well known in the history of watchmaking. He says here, Europe did not have a monopoly of watchmaking during the centuries preceding the Renaissance era. During this time, the people of the Middle East and North Africa were very skilled in the art of constructing instruments for measuring time. And the first example given about this is the watch of Tlemcen that he named the Arab watch. This is the magazine Gazette des Beaux-Arts in 1892. On page 389, we read in the footer, From the precious things in the Meshwar Palace, we find a watch made in silver by someone from Tlemcen in the year 1358. It has many moving mechanical pieces. Among these pieces, we find a moon, a snake, birds, eagles, and a woman greeting the caliph. He also says here that this ingenious device was built 215 years prior to the cathedral clock of Strasbourg. Before we see how this watch works and how it spins and moves its pieces, let's get to know a bit about its maker. The one who built this wonderful watch is Abu Hassan Ali bin Ahmed, titled to be the most senior engineer and mechanic of his time. The watch was used to beautify the king's palace, named the Meshwar, in Tlemcen, during the time of the Zionid king Abu Hammu Musa II. This watch started to be built during his time, and we will see later how long it lasted after him. The reward for the invention of Ibn al-Fahham was 1,000 pieces of gold per year. It appears that the inventor also traveled to Morocco and built a different watch for its kings. We can find in this book titled Jana Zahratul As fi Bina Madinat Fas, or Reaping the Myrtle Flower in the Construction of the City of Fez, a mention of Ali bin Ahmed the Tlemceni designing another watch in Fez, a bit different from the one built in Tlemcen. The last mention of this piece of engineering design, named the Manjana, was in the year 814 Hijri, or 1411 AD, which means it was used for at least 53 years before it was destroyed by Banu Marin in their frequent attacks on the city of Tlemcen. The watch Manjana was restored after the death of its inventor. The latter died in the year 1359, and we know that the Zionid dynasty was looted and totally destroyed by the king of Fez in the year 1384. We also know that during the night where the king Abdul Wahid was giving allegiance to be the king of Tlemcen, he started the Manjana the way it was related to him by his father, and since it says started, it means it was stopped before. Let's summarize what was said above. Books of history mention an advanced mechanical watch built and designed in Tlemcen in the year 1358, named Manjana or Mangana. It was invented by a scholar from Tlemcen named Ibn al-Fahham, and he made a different clock for the king of Fez. Now I will describe to you the watch and its work principles from a French book, then from Yahya ibn Khaldun's book, who saw the Manjana clock with his own eyes in the palace. Let's start with the French book. Barges said, Among the rare objects that were kept in the Meshwar Palace and exhibited to embellish the assembly hall during this solemn night, the one that excited the spectators' admiration the most was a clock named Khizanat al-Manjana. He also said, this marvelous clock, related by historians, was adorned with silver figures of ingenious workmanship and solid structure. On the upper plan of the apparatus rose a tree on which was perched a bird with its two small chicks under its wings. A snake coming out of its lair located at the foot of the shrub climbed gently and noiselessly to surprise the two little chicks that it was watching. On the front part there were 10 doors. that is to say, as many as one counted hours in the night, and at all hours one of these doors shook. At the two corners of the device and on each side was an open door, longer and wider than the others. Above all these doors and near the ledge, one can see the moon, which turned in a large circle and marked by its movement the natural course which the satellite followed in the celestial sphere during this night. At the beginning of each hour, at the moment when the door which represented that hour shook, two eagles came out from the large doors and came to fall down on a copper basin. They let fall into this basin a weight in copper from their mouths. This weight entered through a hole which was made in the middle of the basin and thus arrived in the interior of the clock. Then the snake which had reached the top of the bush hissed and bit one of the little birds which his mother was trying to defend in vain with her louder cries. At this moment, the door which marked the present hour opened by itself, and the woman appeared. In her right hand, she presented an open notebook where the name of the hour is written on it, her left hand on her mouth as if she is greeting the caliph. It's somehow complicated, isn't it? Let's read from the Arabic description from the Tlimsani al-Muqri's book, quoting from Ibn Khaldun's al-Bughya book. And Ibn Hammu used to celebrate the night of the birth of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ above all other celebrations by inviting both nobles and laymen. He would decorate the place with beautiful carpets and small cushions to lean on and big candles. The guests would be served by youth with beautiful colored clothes, holding trays and drinks to serve all the guests. And the Manjana clock with its well-crafted silver statues. On the top of it has a big tree, and on the top of the tree there is a bird with both its chicks. A snake is sneaking to go up in the tree from a small hole at its roots. On the front of the clock there are shaking doors, as many as the number of hours in the night. On both sides of the clock there are two large doors. On the top of all these doors, and a bit down from the top of the clock, there is a moon moving the same way the real moon moves in outer space. On the top of the hour, the equivalent door is shaken and two eagles come out from the two large doors, each one holding a small round copper ball. They dive down to a small hollow basin made with copper which has a small hole in the middle. The eagles drop the balls. The balls enter through the hole to the inside of the clock and ring a bell. At this moment, the snake bites one of the chicks, so its father whistles to him, and at this moment, the door equivalent to that hour is opened, and the woman emerges from it wearing a beautiful belt, holding a file by her right hand, written on it the current hour, and putting her left hand on her mouth as if she is giving the pledge of allegiance to the caliph. All this while listening to the nasheeds of the Master of the Messengers and the seal of the Prophets, our Master and Guide Muhammad, may Allah's prayers and peace be upon him. I guess you're trying to imagine the design of this big clock, or you're expecting to see a drawing to explain the above description. Unfortunately not. I will leave it up to your imagination. Dr. Dumir and his team and friends are trying to build a replica of this big clock in its normal size, so I wish him success and we're impatient to see his project done. I hope this is an addition to your historical knowledge, and Assalamu alaikum.